Welcome to the Recap Roman channel, and today I'm going to tell you a story from 2011. Before you start, please subscribe and give me a like, it will help in promoting the channel. At the beginning of the movie we are shown a girl, Ollie, who wakes up next to her boyfriend Nick. She quickly runs to the bathroom to quickly clean herself up. Rick wakes up and tells Ollie that she always looks amazing in the morning. During breakfast, Ollie asks Nick to go to her sister Daisy's wedding with her, but he says it's too big a step in their relationship. She gets mad at him and kicks him out of the apartment. When she arrives at work, her boss Roger tells her that she is being fired because she has been downsized. But only she is being downsized. The upset girl goes into the subway with a box of her belongings. On the subway she reads a magazine that says that the average number of lovers for women is 10. She is disturbed by this fact and decides to make a list of all her men. The next day she goes to Daisy's wedding rehearsal. There she meets her mom and learns that she refuses to call her dad. When Ollie finishes her list, she realizes that she has had 19 men. She goes downstairs and in a drunken video gives her speech in honor of the bride and groom. In the evening she and her friends Daisy are sitting in a bar, and she suggests playing a game to find out how many boyfriends they have had. As a result of the game, she realizes that she has had the most contacts. Her friends tell her that now she is less likely to get married. She says in response that the next guy will be the one. However, the next day she wakes up with her former boss Roger. She quickly gets dressed and calls Daisy since she doesn't remember anything. Her sister tells her that she spit on her when they tried to drag her away from the bar. When Roger wakes up, she thinks of a quick way to get him kicked out. At that moment, her neighbor Colin arrives and asks for her phone since he can't get into his apartment. He notices how ineptly she blows Roger off, and so he decides to help her. When Roger comes out, Ollie notices a girl coming out of Colin's apartment. He admits that he is hiding from her. A little later, the sisters are tasting a cake for a wedding where Ollie notices a guy named Donald who she once dated. She is very excited about his video and is surprised at how much weight he has lost. A little later she realizes that all of her exes have gotten much better with age. At home she starts to look for her exes, but after drinking too much she passes out. When she wakes up, she hears Colin talking to another girl and comes out to ask for help in finding her exes. However, he refuses to help her because he thinks it's her own fault that she was dumped. After a bit of thinking, she runs into Colin's apartment and tricks him into going home with her. She then makes a deal with him in which, in exchange for his favor, she promises to help him avoid girls for one night. Colin agrees and takes a sandwich for it, and she gives him a list of her exes. Then she meets her sister to help her pick out a wedding dress. Suddenly she gets a text from Colin, who's found Dave. They meet Colin at the bar where Dave bartends. She is disappointed in the guy who still works at the bar and has accomplished nothing in life and continues to bartend as he did years ago. On the street she asks Colin why she doesn't want to sleep with him. However, she thinks that no one will want to sleep with her because of her big list. The next morning she finds Colin on her couch since he has a girlfriend at home now. He tells her he found one of her exes, Evan, but it turns out he's married and has kids. They spend the whole week looking for exes. The girl decides to concentrate on Simon, who is selling his house and going through a divorce. Colin advises her to go and see the house to set up a chance meeting. However, when she arrives at the address she finds that she has accidentally walked into Donald's house. She is confused and makes up a story about buying the house with her fiancé. She quickly runs out of the house. A little later she spots Simon, who immediately recognizes her and invites her to the pub. She gets very drunk and starts pissing Simon off with her stupid accent. The date goes awry and she goes home. A few hours later, Colin tells her that Jerry's next target is a guy she despises, but since she has no other options, she agrees. In the morning, Ollie goes to Jerry's play with Colin and his nephew. The girl tries to talk to her ex-boyfriend, but since Jerry is obsessed with her sister Daisy, the conversation doesn't work out and she immediately leaves. A few hours later, Daisy meets Ollie and admits that she will ask her father to the wedding. When her mother hears the news about her father, she says she won't come. After the failed meeting, Ollie tells her sister that she will fly to Miami to meet Barrett, who has become a gynecologist. A couple of days later, she walks into his office and is excited to meet him, but he doesn't recognize her until she spreads her legs. Upset, Ollie returns home. But there Colin encourages her that he has found Tom, who has become a politician. She decides to fly the next day so she doesn't waste any time. When she arrives in Washington, She runs into Donald once again and he tells her that she is stalking him. A little later she arrives at the library where she finds Tom and awkwardly sets up their meeting. But everything goes well and she calls Colin to tell him what happened. She also says that he asked her out and gave her a dress, and Colin can tell that he's jealous. In the evening she goes to dinner with Tom. Everything goes great, but it turns out that he is gay and he wants her to be his wife to cover for him because he wants to be president. A heartbroken Ollie returns home where she is greeted by Colin and tries to cheer her up. She says that now she has no one to invite to the wedding. Colin offers to go with her and she agrees. A little later, they go to a basketball game where Colin used to work as a security guard. They play strip basketball, but the security guard spoils the game and they escape. At home, Colin notices that all his shirts are constantly being taken by girls. Ollie tells him that if there were fewer girls, there would be more shirts. So she decides to take her shirt right off Ollie and it ends up leading to a kiss. In the morning, she wakes up before Colin and tries to clean up, but the guy is already awake and says she looks amazing. Colin offers to make breakfast, but she remembers that she has to meet her sister at the store. There she says that she will come to the wedding with Colin, but the girl tells her that this is not the best choice as he has a very long list. Ollie comes home and works on her sculptures and suddenly she finds information on Colin's phone about Jake, who was her first ex-boyfriend, and Colin has been hiding information about him. She gets mad at him and doesn't want to see him anymore. Afterward, Ollie leaves Jake a voicemail message. She gets ready for her date and a little later they meet. She looks at Jake enthusiastically and doesn't notice her hair starting to burn. She greets Jake and has a wonderful time. She invites him home and shows him her sculptures and afterward they kiss. The next day she and her sister meet at her mother's house and tell her that their father is coming to the wedding with a young girl. But she is not upset because she is more interested in Ollie coming with Jake. Their relationship develops and they start dating, while Colin pines for Ollie. On the day of Daisy's wedding, they run into each other in the hallway and it turns out that he is also going to a wedding, but a different one. When Ollie arrives at the wedding, she has a great time and has a heart-to-heart with her father for the first time in a long time. Then she dances with Jake and tells him that he is not the first person she has slept with. He doesn't worry about it and says the most important thing is that he's the last. After that he invites her to go on a business trip with him for 6 months, but she was obviously not ready for such an event. During the acceptance speech, Ollie realizes that Jake is not who she wants to be with. She confesses this to him and he leaves the wedding upset. Ollie plucks up the courage to tell her mother the truth and her mother is angry and reprimands her for missing out on such a man, but she says she loves Colin, who appreciates her for who she is. The situation is diffused by Daisy, who says she's pregnant and for months along. Ollie seizes the opportunity to run away from the wedding to find Colin. After visiting all possible weddings in the city, the girl finally gets to the one where Colin is. But at the entrance she is stopped by the guards and decides to climb over the fence. She gets on stage to talk to Colin and she disrupts the performance and sees him for a conversation. He doesn't understand and asks why she's doing this. She admits that she was wrong and was afraid he'd be another ex. Colin also apologizes for withholding information about Jake. They forgive each other. After a while they lie on the bed and suddenly there is a message from one of Ollie's exes, who says that they had nothing because she was very drunk. At that moment she realizes that Colin is her 20th boyfriend and that's the end of it. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, put a like and write a comment. Recap Roman. See you soon.